All right, back for another episode of Chatty Caveman. Bry's here, of course.
Hello.
And we're going to get right into it, today's topic. We were going to talk about that Jake Paul-Tyson fight, which was a total bust.
Yeah, we just assumed it would be something worth talking about.
Yeah, thought maybe. The most exciting thing that happened, apparently, was Tyson flashing his butt after his interview.
I heard about
room.
that, yeah.
That's the only thing anybody's talking about, the fight.
Yeah,
the
that's
fight
fine.
itself was shit.
I'm sure it had a very nice butt.
Yeah, it was just ridiculous. But anyway, so I want to move on to something else. Professional tennis player Rafael Nadal retired yesterday. Now, this is not about tennis. This is just about something else, but bear with me.
Okay.
So he's a really, really good tennis player.
I know the name, and
Right.
I do love tennis, but I don't hardly watch it, and I only know a few names.
Right.
Really.
And I was an old school tennis fanatic in the days of Agassi and Sampras and all that other stuff. So he won a bunch of tournaments.
I've watched him probably.
And he was a clay court specialist, and he was a really, really popular player. And he always gave the big guys runs for their money.
Oh, yeah, and I know his face. I'm looking at him right now. I've seen
Yes.
him many, many times. Yeah.
So when I was young, I played a lot of tennis. I played for hours a day, like many, many days a week. One
Anything
of my friends,
to get out of the house.
Yeah, anything to get out of the house is right. So I thought I was really good. Like when I say I thought I was really good, and I loved to play. But looking back, I was kind of delusional. I would never been a really good tennis player.
Right.
I was good. I wasn't like, I thought I could get really good, but I would never be like ranked. I would have never got a scholarship.
Oh,
I just played a lot, but delusionally, I'm like, I'm playing tennis 3 hours a day, whatever, the dedication. And I was young. I think I started when I was like in 8th grade playing a lot. And then my friend had free passes to his family had indoor courts in New York where we lived. The indoor courts were like, holy cow.
Yeah, you talking about tennis time?
I'm talking about tennis time in Lynbrook.
Yeah.
So we used to play, and nobody would go there on a Friday night and a Saturday night. So we just go to play tennis for like 3 or 4 hours indoors on the side court. And that's what I did when I was like 13, 14 years old. So it was fun. But I think this is where my Dunning-Kruger started, because like I was delusional enough to think I was good. But now I know I wasn't. So I played a lot of sports. Did you play any sports for the school or anything else like that, or for like CYO?
I did a little bit. I played CYO and I did some other stuff, but that just what you were saying reminds me of Adam Sandler talking about how kind of delusional he was because when it came down to comedy. And it's funny how there's a lot of people who you hear who can convince themselves enough, it shows you how powerful the mind is, that you'll just keep on going. But he was like being told left and right, dude, you suck. You're not going to be good enough. Like, you're not funny. He'd bomb and bomb and bomb, and then he'd leave the bomb, like, you know, as a young comic and be like, I don't know what they thought, but I was fucking great.
Yeah. Sounds like the podcast. Yeah. Okay.
Well, anyway, point being, it's kind of like you could have if you didn't give up, maybe.
Well, no, CYO was maybe. CYO was the Catholic Youth Organized Sports. That's at the time.
Yeah, I did
Island.
basketball. I sucked.
I played basketball. I was a second string guy because I wasn't tall enough. I was in the back. But in the backyard, I was great. I was like, why aren't they starting me? You know, I played baseball. And our teams, I got giant trophies in my room when I was a kid. Our team won. And they weren't the give me trophies or participation trophies like the little ones. We came in first place. I never played a minute during the season or anything else like that.
Right.
Baseball and basketball. I played roller hockey. I was in a bowling league. I played racquetball. I played tennis. I played a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I bowled, and that was probably about it with baseball and basketball, and that was it.
But the only thing was, I always said, if I stuck with one of these sports, I really think I could have been great at it. But then I think about it now and I go, none of those sports, I don't think I ever had a chance of being anything. I don't even think college level like any of those sports.
No, I wouldn't think so either. I watched you play too.
Tennis I was good at, but I didn't play with you. I played with some older kids, and I actually was very competitive with them.
Okay.
But did you have any sport back then that you said you wish you stuck at?
I wish I would. I wanted to play volleyball, but we didn't have, and that was the only game that I thought I wasn't good at jumping or spiking. I thought I was really good at just keeping the ball up in the air, setting, and
you were
and
pretty
serving.
short though. Like I was short. I was a late bloomer.
Oh, I just loved the game, and there were short people like Karen Bowl. I watched girls play all the time, right?
Right.
And they were playing with tall girls. I mean, of course, they weren't as tall as
Susie
guys.
was tall.
Right. Susie was tall, but Karen Bowl was like 5'0", and she kicked ass on that team.
Okay.
And there were a lot of short people that can do really well. Not everyone has to be tall to play, especially in high school sports. So, like, not that I think I would have excelled, but that's the one thing I was like, oh man, I wish they would have had a team, because I would have happily tried out and felt confident. Where baseball, I played 1 year, completely average and wasn't worth the time. Football, played 1 year, asthmatic, small, didn't have a JV. I could catch, but I wasn't as good as the other guys, and whatever it was.
I went to private high school, and my school didn't have football. I probably would have tried to play football, and I was small, but I could take a hit. I was scrappy. But the truth of the matter is, we didn't have it. We had ice hockey, and I couldn't ice skate for shit.
Yeah, that's a tough
I would
sport,
play
man.
roller hockey, but I
Yeah.
couldn't ice skate for shit. So here's the thing. I did some thinking about, if I was younger, you think of the big 3, the big 4, maybe the big 5 sports. But there's so many sports. I tried to break down, if at a very young age,
Yeah.
I tried to, or like some of these people, like Tiger Woods, his dad molded him to be a golfer, just play golf. He had a natural thing. What is the sport that you think you could do and be good at if you tried at an age where these young
Yeah, I know.
players
Yeah, I get it.
started?
I
And did I have the skill for tennis? I don't think I had the actual
no.
skill for tennis. I was good enough to get by and compete with people, but I don't think I would have ever developed enough of the skill for that game.
Well, because it's half skill, because the skill most people can develop around the same league. It's the mental part on top of that too. Is so massive to being able to perform under pressure. Not to say you couldn't do it, but that's a whole other thing. It's like kicking. I've been saying this, and everyone says this, right? So I would have trained 100% to only kick, right? And it's for me too. Like, I like throwing shit in a certain thing. Like, I love darts. I love cornhole. For me, I would enjoy the kicking, and I think most people would probably say that's the most attainable.
Do you watch this cornhole tournament that you see on TV, and you watch these guys? It's like 1, 2, 3, and they're shooting basketball with these things.
Yeah.
It is incredible how they do it. And I know mentally, see, that's the other thing. It's the physical skill of throwing it. I can learn how to throw it. It's the mental also on top of it, of like, ooh, because I know how I am.
Yeah. I mean, if you were to put cornhole in there, I think if I can
It's
get
a sport.
Okay, well then, if you're gonna throw that in there, I
I'm
could
asking
realistically.
You, yeah. I got some interesting sports I'm going to say right now.
Realistically, I think that I could. It's all about the mental part. I know I could train myself to get 4 out of 5 cornholes. 95% of the time, get 3 out of 4, and 99% of the time, get 2 out of 4. So that's probably on the low end of professional, but.
Oh, but then I'm considering professional, semi-pro, AAA ball, anything that got above where you got paid 2 cents in a tournament somewhere. That's me considered professional. Where you got paid at the end, you earned a check at the end of the tournament, and you finish where, oh, I won. I don't care if it's a gift certificate to Hardee's.
Give me 6 months, and I'm doing. I'll
Okay.
make a shitty living at it.
Okay.
I'll live in a van.
I think you got my Dunning-Kruger, but anyway. So I first I thought bowling. And then I said, you know what? I'm not disciplined enough for bowling. Like, I had a bowling ball drill with 5 holes in it because I just like to throw the thing really hard. It's a 16-pound heavy ball, and it has 5 holes in it, so my entire hand fits in it. And it's 100% legal. I checked, because it doesn't change the weight distribution, and I throw that thing as hard as I possibly can.
Yeah, you would have to completely change the way
Everything
that you
the way
bowl.
I bowl. I know.
And it's so many variables in that. I would never
Yeah.
cornhole would be so much easier.
Yes, exactly. So at first I thought bowling or darts or something like that, but that's
Even
no,
harder.
No, yeah. To me, darts is even harder. You're right. So then I came up with a few that I really think, okay, maybe, and that was curling,
Yeah.
which is a sport apparently.
No.
I think
know.
I could brush that thing. I don't. You don't have to skate. You kind of slide on the ice or whatever. I think I could learn that. Fishing, if you consider it a sport, which people do, sport fishing when they go out and catch fish. I don't know if that's considered a real sport, but I think I might be able to learn fishing. I wrote down kicker, just like you said. I think if I tried, I think I could get to the college level, maybe get a scholarship for kicking or something like that, and I maybe have a shot. But I think really the only 2 that I might have a chance of making some money is
Starting over.
Lumberjacking tournaments. I think I could have been pretty good at lumberjacking tournaments if you watch those things.
I think you are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Swinging the axe.
Swinging
I'm pretty
the
good
axe,
at that.
yeah.
Doing that other stuff. Cutting with the saw. Pretty good with that stuff. I think I can do that.
Okay.
And the last one is poker. And I don't know if that's a sport, but it's considered a sport.
It is a sport. So this is all boils down to it. All boils down to you
Getting in a tournament.
getting in a tournament, because I've known you forever. We talked about, you've talked about doing whatever, and it's, of course, it's money. I'd love to see it. It's such it's a gamble, but it's such a big one when you're tossing a big chunk of change out in one tournament that you get eliminated at, possibly pretty quickly one day, I'm assuming.
Well, that's the great thing about it, though. Once you put that money down and you're in the tournament, you're not worried about reaching into your pocket and losing anything else. That's why I think the pressure's off at a tournament. If you're just a tournament player, the guys that play, the real guys that play poker, and they're playing at the tournaments, they're winning so much money in the backroom games, the high stakes games, and they're playing the tournaments to just with a name and recognition so that they get paid to go into a tournament and take your money in the back room because they're like, oh, look who it is. It's Daniel Negreanu. He's going to win the tournament. It's Phil Ivey. It's these guys who are they're like little computers and stuff. But there's so much knowledge already out there, and stats are stats. And you're looking at percentages and ratios and whatever to win a tournament and win a hand. And it's like, yeah, poker is a game, and you really just, you dealt with lucky cards. But no, it's knowing the position where you stand.
It's also a ton of
you're
manipulation.
playing against people, right? So you're playing with people's minds and whatever. It's kind of wild. That's about it. That's the only two I think I may have a shot at a young age from training.
You could do cards now.
I could do cards now.
You can't do kicking now.
Time-wise,
that wasn't
no.
one of your two. Lumberjacking, okay, I think that you would have had a better chance at kicking than lumberjacking. Probably a much better chance of, but who knows? I don't know. I know you're good with this. I know you're good with hitting, swinging shit. I mean,
yeah.
And you could train yourself to swing.
Yeah. I think I was pretty good at a younger age from swinging that sledgehammer for years and doing things like that.
Yeah.
Pry bar and cutting shit up. Anyway.
It's fun to swing stuff, but yeah.
Do you have any?
Pool. Billiards is a sport. I would assume, not to say that I could. Like if I was taught at a young age and never learned anything on my own, I always found that a very fun thing to do, and I didn't suck.
You are very good at pool, but here is the thing. You're good at pool usually for you. After a few, you're better because you're calmer and you're much more relaxed. I know that when we used to play pool at the bar all the time. At the beginning of the night, you're okay, whatever. But as soon as the night got into an hour in and you had, whatever, you were very good at the angles and the flow.
Here's the thing. When it comes down to alcohol,
but I'm saying that's the mind. It's not the alcohol.
It is the mind.
It's relaxation of the mind, so you're not stressed.
Well, and if people think it's relaxation or whatever it is, and I know, and people are very different. People think, they're more sociable when they drink. For me, I've always drank never to relax, but what alcohol does is alcohol slows my mind down so I can think a little bit more clearly. So I'm less impulsive, as opposed to this racing mind that's just going, la, 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 la. So I'm trying to shoot pool, and I'm thinking about 6 other things right now, and whether or not I want to scratch my ass. And then when I have a few drinks, I'm actually thinking about the shot and then 6 other things instead of the 50.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay,
I think that's why it helps me with a lot of things.
Well, for me, I played pool better when I didn't. And then as soon as I had a drink, I just slam it as hard as I can. And half the time the cue ball flies off the table and I'm just, I was okay at pool. I was never.
It's a fun game. But it's crazy to think that some of these things are sports like cornhole. So cornhole, I think right now, your card thing, even though people will call that delusional until you get into your first competition. It kind of, but I know you, so I think I go, okay, he might be delusional, but I also wouldn't be completely shocked if you made it far in a tournament. But I do think that if somebody truly taught me, just give me actually just a few months of training with someone excellent, I could compete in cornhole and win 20th place. Get $200.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
could do that.
You might get a sponsor. or two.
Who knows? Spots. Yeah, maybe. You never know.
Like,
Hey,
okay,
man.
I'm wearing shirts. Speedy Auto right here.
Right there. That's it. Yeah.
I think that would be funny just to think about that, but also like to try and see how good you can get at that, because I know you actually have a talent at that. That's one of those things. It's an easy repetition skill for you. It takes you a couple of tries to know, this bag, because you don't have your own bags. These guys travel with their own stuff and they know everything and everything. I've seen it on TV and I just watch it and I go, oh my God, like this is insane.
Oh, well, here, I want to talk about aim. You probably cut this out. But anything with aim, for me, if I'm aiming at something and when I only notice it when I'm pretty decent at it, I don't know what the hell I'm doing except for staring at the hole.
Mm-hmm.
And then I throw my arm up in whatever way that feels comfortable. But as long as I'm staring at that hole,
mm-hmm.
for some reason, that connection while throwing
mm-hmm.
tells my arm how fast to go. Tells me when to let it go, and that's the only thing. And I equate that to something that I used to do when I was a kid. I used to walk the street, and the sidewalks have cracks,
mm-hmm.
the separation, and I would walk and spit. This was something,
what?
Yes, and this is what I would do. As I'm walking, I would get like a glob of spit in my mouth, and a game that I would play with myself. I never told anybody this. And I still can do it, and I still do it when I walk the dog sometimes.
Okay, this is insane.
If I'm walking what I would consider full speed, and I pick a line that separates, right?
Yeah.
And I spit,
mm-hmm.
I can time it while I'm walking, and I can have that spit hit the line. And as I'm walking,
you need to do this on like America's Got Talent or something, because I've never heard of anybody. I've never heard of this before.
And not only, and I could do it as a kid. I could do it like 3 out of 4 times. It was like a game that I would play with myself every fucking day that I walked on the sidewalk. It was a weird thing, but it was just a feeling. And you know what? You're walking. Let out the spit right now, and you're gonna boom, like it was a fucking like dropping a bomb from a plane. And when I hit that seam, it was like ding, win, and then I do it again and I'd miss. I do it again and I get it.
I'm
sorry.
I'm oh my God.
And so I could relate that to.
I've never spit while I'm walking, really,
Yes.
unless it's like a.
I did it as a fucking game, and I would be like, you'd have to put your head down and kind of do the thing, and I relate that to me throwing a cornhole, and it was that same exact feeling of me wanting to spit and hit the crack.
Okay.
But in a throwing motion.
I'm literally sitting there saying, like, a basketball player shooting a shot from, like, distance and
you
then
just
three and then
feel
being
that.
able to feel it. That's what I'm equating the cornhole. Not spitting on the sidewalk as
For
a child,
me,
but okay.
It was the same. It's my internal feeling is very similar. It's kind of strange. There's a physical feeling to me throwing something and trying to aim it.
Yeah.
And I would get that same thing by spitting.
Okay.
Sorry.
No,
Cut it all out.
I'm not cutting any of this out. This is definitely staying in no matter what. So feel free, anybody, to send us. Please send us your comments about this and
the weird things that you might have
things
done.
that you might do, or the any sport that you think you had a chance to, or maybe you were professional sports players and you're just laughing at us saying, "You guys can't play these things."
Right?
No, we're not good. So we're gonna get to last week's picks, and we're moving right on to the NFL. And with last week's picks, we're gonna say, unbelievable week of picks. Bri had a 6-game tease and won.
That's right.
I had a 4-game tease and won.
Excellent.
We only had one tease that was the same game, but we picked it opposite and both won.
There you go.
So we had 10 different teases technically, and we won them all. So if you're betting with us, you would have made money last week. Good money.
Yeah.
So we're going to go over last week's games. First game, Thursday night. The Commanders 18, the Eagles 26. That game, the Commanders really didn't have a shot in that game at any point. The Eagles took over. They were a much better team. I'm still rooting for the Commanders.
So am I.
But the Eagles are a much better team that night. We both picked the Eagles -3. We both won that game. Next game, the Raiders 19, the Dolphins 34. Dolphins were favored by 7. I teased that game and brought it down to 1. Brian took the Dolphins -7. We both won the game. I won the first tease. The Dolphins have an offense when Tua's on the field. The Dolphins are playing much, much better with Tua. They had a good defensive game this week. But once again, it was against the Raiders, which
right.
Browns 14, Saints 35. Brian teased it, so the Saints got points. He covered the tease. I just took the Saints -3. We both won that game. The Saints aren't going anywhere.
I still want the Saints to do well.
I know you want the
but
Saints to do well. I
whichever.
can't root for the Saints because the Falcons are in the same division.
Yeah.
Colts, 28. Jets, 27 at the Jets. Jets were favored by 3. You took the Colts. You teased it to make it even more.
Right.
Give them 9.
I'm surprised they were in this game.
I can't believe that the Jets are, and we talked about it, are so bad. Might have an effect on whether or not Aaron Rodgers gets a first ballot Hall of Fame vote. It's going that badly. He left Green Bay on bad terms. They won one Super Bowl. He wasn't fantastic in that Super Bowl. I mean,
I don't
they
remember,
won,
but he always
and everybody
seemed to
says
do well.
he always did great during the regular season. He's one of those guys. There's a lot of those guys right now. I mean, look at Lamar Jackson. He's had 2 MVPs, and he's trying to go for a third this year. Never won the big game. Didn't do great in the Super Bowl. Always got knocked out of the playoffs. Next game, the Vikings -6.5. It was Vikings 23, the Titans 13. The Vikings covered. I teased that game. I covered by 0.5 point. You took the Vikings. So far, Bri, you've gotten them all right.
Yeah.
You had a good week. The Vikings played and they scored well. They did okay, but they did it against the Titans on the road. They haven't played a really good game, a well-rounded game since like 4 weeks ago. It's been like 4 weeks of high, low, high, low, high, low. We're going to see what happens coming up because the rest of the season is a lot of, they leave it to the end to decide divisions. So there's a lot of interdivision play. So the Vikings are going to have to play the Bears and they're going to have to play the Packers. These are the games that are coming up.
And I'm going Vikes. I'm probably going to tease each time.
Okay, great.
All right.
Don't get too cocky.
Mm-hmm.
Next game, Packers 20, Bears 19. Packers blocked a kick.
Oh, my Lord.
The Bears were going to win this game. Was it luck blocking a kick? Kinda. But they played the game, but the Packers, they gave this game away until the last second. They thought they were going to lose this game. It looked like they were going to lose this game. This was one of my 4 teams in the teaser, and I put the spread down to 0 because the Packers were favored by 6. And because they blocked that field goal, I covered.
Oh, shit. I can't believe they don't show us this side view of every time it gets blocked.
Yeah.
Why are we not seeing the trajectory on this fucking ball? It is so important to compare, oh, look, when he kicks this is what it is. When that is, I mean, isn't that a great, like, stat to have and keep track of?
Yeah, but they may keep track of it, but they're not putting it out on the TV.
I don't understand why they're not talking about it. It makes it more interesting.
Yeah, the angle, the lower.
Like, and it gets fucking blocked.
Guy.
How often do they get blocked? Freaking have that there when it does get blocked. They think it's whatever.
Well, that was 2 weeks in a row, 2 big games.
Yeah.
The Chiefs blocked Denver on the field goal, which was huge for them, and the Packers blocked, and they're both division games, and the Packers blocked the Bears.
Yeah.
Which was huge because if they lost to the Bears, they were all going down, and the Lions keep winning. Speaking of which, Jaguars 6, Lions 52.
52.
The spread was -14 for the Lions.
And you said to me, this is like a different Lions.
Totally different Lions.
Because, you usually see, and you said, I usually see usually Detroit will lose to the teams that they shouldn't lose to.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is the opposite. They kick the shit out of them.
I couldn't believe it. Good competition. Lions are usually in it, and then they break your heart. That's how I've lived my life. Oh my gosh, the Lions are so close. They're gonna. Oh, okay. Final last quarter, the fourth quarter, they lose.
Well,
they lose an interception for a touchdown. Scott Mitchell. It doesn't matter who it is. Rodney Peete. All these old quarterbacks used to. I'll say it again. The Jaguars were done. I said it 5 weeks ago, and I'll say it again. Jaguars,
they're
toast.
done.
The Rams, 28. The Patriots, 22. Spread was -5.5. We both picked opposite on this. This was the one where I said, I'm going to push it up.
Mm-hmm.
You picked the Rams. You covered by 0.5 point. I picked the Patriots plus 11.5, and I covered easily.
Yeah, Patriots. I wouldn't.
The Patriots, They got the kid in, the rookie, Derek May. He's playing okay. They're not that great. I think they're still living off a reputation as if Tom Brady's there. This is not a great team.
But you got a rookie, and if he's doing okay.
You're playing in Foxborough. The Rams should be better. Even on the road, they travel from East Coast to West Coast. They should be better. They covered, but we're going to see.
Rams with not the Chargers. So the Chargers, I was watching this other guy. I was watching the Chargers. So the Rams has
Stafford. Mm-hmm.
This other guy. Oof. All right. Anyway, we'll get
Justin
to that.
Herbert. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll get to that. I think the Rams are still coming around. I think that whole division is crazy. It's within one game right now. The entire division is within one game. Ravens, 16. Steelers, 18. Now, Russell Wilson hasn't lost since he came in. I'm happy for Russell Wilson because he's an ex-Seahawk. I can't stand the Steelers. I like Tomlin and his funny sayings. But as a Steeler fan, if you're out there and you're a Steeler fan, you live a luxurious life.
Yes, you do.
To be able to always be 500 or better, to be able to never be a cellar dweller, to be able to never have a garbage season, no matter who plays quarterback, no matter who's on the team, no matter how bad somebody gets injured or hurt, whoever it is, especially with this coach, you've had great seasons. At least half of the season you're happy.
Yeah, it's like since the 70s, since the mid-70s, where they won a few. Like, how many seasons have they gone where they've gone under 500?
They haven't gone. I don't think Tomlin has ever gone under 500.
Well, Tomlin's only been there I'm talking about since the fucking 70s. Tomlin's been there for 20 years.
For
right?
16, 17, 20 years. Yeah.
Right. So that's the 2000s. I'm talking about 25 years before that.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember them sucking when I was a kid. I know they didn't suck in the 70s.
No.
They were always competing. So I'm asking ChatGPT what that.
The Steelers are a serious team to contend with no matter who they're playing. They are in contention for home field if the Chiefs slip. They will play home playoff games against everybody but the Chiefs and maybe the Bills. These guys are serious. I don't know. I can't root for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And I can. I don't mind them.
Because I'd rather any other team, because they win. They're so used to winning. It's one of those things where it's like, you guys are always have a chance to win. The Bills, they suffered for years. You know, I'm rooting for them. The Chiefs, I don't want them to do it. Even the Ravens, who I don't like, I'm rooting for the Ravens to win a Super Bowl.
Oh, really?
I would rather them over the Steelers. I'd rather the Bills over them or both of them. It's just a different thing. I'd rather the Texans over all of them. I don't have a chance at any of my teams in that league. No, it's not going to happen. At this point, it's Detroit. I got Detroit and Seattle.
All right, so there's been 5 times that they have not finished. They've finished under 500. 85, 86, 88, 99, and 2003.
And some of them came to the last game of the season where they're 7-9 instead of 8-8.
Right.
I mean, that's it. I wish I picked a franchise early on that was just like the Steelers. That just was a winning team always, and you can be proud to wear their stuff. Seahawks next game. Seahawks 20. The Niners 17. The Seahawks shocked me. They went into San Francisco. They might have put an end to San Francisco's season because they're a game back, but there's 3 other teams in that league, and San Francisco's lost a couple games in that division already, so they're not going to have the tiebreaker, and all those teams are 500 or one game above 500, so it's not like they're lighting anybody on fire.
Right. It's really anybody's...
It's really anybody's division. Is it the Seahawks? I don't know. Arizona's got the edge right now, but we'll see after this week. Okay? Oh, by the way, you teased the Seahawks getting 13, covered easily, and you also teased the Steelers. So those are your other 2. So far, your 5 or your 6 teases correct. The next game, disappointing. Falcons 6 and the Broncos 38.
Holy shit.
Broncos were -1.5. Falcons never showed up. It was awful. I always say you never know how teams are going to play in Denver. I don't know what it is. Sometimes they're fine, and other times they just get blown out. When Denver wins like that, you're like, oh, it's got to be the altitude. Because I didn't think they were that good, but everybody's talking about the quarterback. They're coming into their own. Bo Nix, yep.
So, does it have anything to do with the fact that he's doing really well, too? I mean...
The Falcons were discombobulated. It just didn't look like a real team. They look like the Jaguars and like those type of teams. 6 points for the Falcons. They got all the offensive weapons, and they're a fast team. They just couldn't put it together. Chiefs, big game of the week, 21. The Bills 30.
Thank goodness.
I was so happy.
So happy. I watched this whole game. I watched a couple games this week, and this was one of them.
I was so happy that this game turned out this way. Josh Allen, but does what he does in the regular season against the Chiefs. They played a good game. They played a solid game to score 30 points on that renowned defense that they're talking about of the Chiefs. But the Chiefs still had a chance at the end to turn this game around.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that the Bills pulled one out. I hope that they didn't pull one out just to give it back in the playoffs. If they get a tie record, the difference is this is the tiebreaker. So there could be difference between if the Chiefs lose another one and then they both win out, the Bills will have the home field in the playoffs to the Chiefs. That's huge. The next game was a wild game, and this was your last tease. And I think you said you were going to bed because was so out of reach. Bengals 27, Chargers 34. Chargers pulled the game out, but Brian had the tease, and the Chargers were up by at one point 17.
Yeah, I ended up watching this game.
The second half of the game?
Yeah.
Okay. You teased it, and the Bengals were getting 8.5. And I looked at it and went, oh, crap. It's Sunday night. He went all the way through the day. He had 5 of his 6, and he's going to lose it at the end. And I was watching, and all of a sudden it's like, boom, they come back. Boom, they come back. Jamar Chase is unbelievable. Joe Burrow was having a great season when it comes down to quarterback yards, touchdowns, everything else. They can't get it done. They let everybody out. They can't get out of the gate. They're done.
Officially, mathematically done. Is that what you're saying?
No, they're not mathematically done.
So
but they're done because they're in the same division as the Steelers and the Ravens, and they got to play them again. I don't think there's any way they can catch up enough ground on them right now. I think they're 4-7.
Okay, so they might be mathematically done and not be able to
get it. They can get into ties if they don't
get into a tie for the wild card.
Tie for every other. They're still in. When you watch these charts for who's still in the running, it's unbelievable. Next week will tell you everybody how many people drop out next week.
Right.
Last game was on Monday night, and the little brother beat up the big brother in town. The Texans 34, the Cowboys 10. You want to talk about a team that's done? The Cowboys are done.
The Cowboys, yeah.
There's nothing there.
No.
You do that to them in Dallas? I mean, the backup quarterback was there. The Texans are starting to come back. Nico Collins came back. He was the number 1 wide receiver in the entire NFL before he got injured. Yards, touch, everything. And now he came back this week full. They played a very good game. Brian went 12-2. I had a great week. I went 10-4. Normally that'd be a great week.
Yeah, listen.
But Brian went 12-2, 6-game tease. He won money. He's buying drinks next week. That's all I'm saying.
Listen.
No.
All right, fine.
No. That's it. You're buying drinks. He's the only 6-game tease we got of the season. Okay?
Hey, we're going to have another one this week.
We're going to try. Here we go. This week, new set of games. Thursday night, it's your Steelers on the road. Division rival at the Browns.
At the Browns. And the Browns have got to be still getting, I'm going to guess they're getting 6.
No.
What?
-3.5 for the Steelers. They're only getting 3.5.
Okay. Tease number 1. My good luck Steelers. And I'm going to maybe keep track of this.
Oh, I keep track of it for you. I got it all written out.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, only because I think they're going to beat the shit out of them anyway. It's almost like,
It's a very confusing spread.
It is.
Although it's Thursday night, and Thursday night you travel on a short week. It's a division rival who you know.
It's a short fucking travel.
It is. Cleveland to Pittsburgh is short.
Come on.
I'm taking the Steelers in this game. I'm teasing to give them points as well.
Yeah, exactly. So we're both doing the same.
So we're both this was the first one that jumped off the board on me and just said, I don't see how. I know that it's a division game. I know that the Browns usually surprise the Steelers once every year or two.
Okay.
But I don't think it's happening this year. The next game, the Titans at the Texans. Texans are favored by 8.5. The Titans lost at home. They're on the road. Division familiarity. I don't know what that means. I don't care what that means. The Titans have done nothing.
Nothing. I have zero. I've not seen them except for highlights that don't usually involve much of them, just the teams that they're playing. I'm going to go with the Texans, 8.5. I mean, that's a lot. Do I want to tease that? No, I'm just going to go for it straight up.
The Texans won on Monday night.
Yep.
It's a short week.
It is.
So I'm saying to myself, they really got to get ready for the Titans. But I think the Cowboys might be better than the Titans. So I'm thinking this game's going to be easy for the Texans. At home, they didn't even leave Texas. I'm taking the Texans. I am teasing it. I'm teasing it down to 2.5.
Okay.
There's so many games this week that I want to tease.
Yeah, that
I'm
one.
not gonna. But
I
I'm not
could have
gonna
teased
do
that one, but I want to
know.
tease the first two. I mean,
know.
there's a
Well,
lot.
I did. I teased
Okay,
the first
there
two.
you go.
I've teased Thursday night twice this season, and I've gotten them both. So I'm a little nervous about it.
Yeah.
I'm due for a loss on Thursday night. But anyway, okay.
Don't say that.
Next game, Vikings on the road to the Bears, who should have beat the Packers last week in a division game. This is a division game. The Vikings are -3.5. The Bears played the Packers very well. It's starting to get chilly.
I mean, I'm not. I want to go Vikings. I want to keep on going for Vikings. I like Sam Darnold. Do I want to tease it? And no.
I'm taking the Vikings over the Bears. I honestly think that the Bears might just lose by 3. The half a point is killing me right now. It's a 3.5 point spread. I hate those freaking half points. Next game is the Cowboys, who've done nothing.
They're due.
Now that they're done, yeah, they're due.
That's what I said.
Okay, they're due.
Yeah.
Against the Washington Commanders, who've lost 2 in a row. And the Commanders are favored by 10.
Wow. Man, is it injuries that are taking?
The quarterback of the Cowboys is out.
He's done.
Yeah. So it's,
that's right. It was
Cooper Rush.
surgery.
Yeah.
That's right. It was
so it's Cooper Rush
and he
that just played and only got 10 points.
Okay.
So,
I'll take Washington, and I'll tease it down.
You're gonna tease it down.
Yeah.
To 4.
Right.
Washington by 4. Okay.
Sure.
I know this is such a tempting game. This is such a tempting game to tease too. I know. I'm almost gonna tease it the other way, but you know what? I'm taking they're due. I'm taking the Commanders by 10. Just leave it at that way. Next game, New England Patriots, who've somehow been in a lot of games.
Yeah.
On the road, another division rival game against the Dolphins. The Dolphins are favored by 7.
You know,
these teams know each other. Both lines know each other. They play each other twice a year forever. And the Dolphins always get beat somehow by the Patriots, or they split.
Yeah, I want to do New England. I'm going to tease it. And you said it was 7?
7.
Right. So so it's so whatever that is.
13.
Yep.
This is going to be another one of those rare ones where I tease it the opposite way.
Okay.
I'm taking the Dolphins -1. I'm just saying the Dolphins are going to cover. I don't know how big this is going to be. This is going to be a determination game for the Dolphins, because if they can't beat the Patriots,
well, the Patriots have won 2 out of their last 3, haven't they? The Patriots have a better record than the Jets.
They lost the Rams
last.
Yes, they lost last week.
Oh, they were in it though, weren't they?
They were in it till the end.
Yeah.
Next game is the Chiefs, after their first loss of the season, going on the road to the mighty local Carolina Panthers.
Oh, man, this is going to be good, too. All right.
The spread is -11.
Oh, it's only 11? I thought it was 14.
No,
I want
not as
14.
good as the Lions.
I want fucking 14, and then I would consider
Uh-huh.
the Panthers just to see.
The Chiefs -11.
Why don't you pick this one first?
Okay.
I don't care. I'm not sure right this second.
That's fine.
And I'm not going to use you.
No, it's okay. I'm just taking the Chiefs to win the game. -11. This is a game they might be taking real light. The Panthers have nothing to lose by throwing everything they can at the Chiefs, because they're horrible. It doesn't matter. The Panthers are a horrible team. They have a running game, but I don't know if they can run against the defense of the Chiefs. It is in Carolina. You got to go on the road twice. You just lost a big game. Kind of takes a little bit out of you. Then you go back on the road. You're going to beat them up, but you may let them in at the game at the end, and it may be, a 10-point game.
It's more fun.
13-point game.
It's more fun to pick Carolina, but they're still gonna fucking lose. So it's less fun. So it's just like, oh, good, they covered, but they're still like, it's gonna annoy me either way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna take Carolina. Do I tease it though? I know I'm dragging this out, so we'll just
Don't
go
be
with-
teased shy after last week's 6-game victory.
Yeah, might as well go for it. I'll tease it, and I'm gonna hope that Carolina gets close and pray that they somehow beat them.
So you're teasing it.
I'm teasing Carolina's getting 17.
Okay.
Yeah, which
okay.
I know it's easy for them to get fucking
it's
hammered
fine.
by that,
It's
but
fine.
why not? Let's hope that it's going to be a close game, and
Okay.
I still want Carolina to win.
Okay. I just got the Chiefs. Next game is the Bucks on the road at the Giants, who benched Daniel Jones. The quarterback that's coming in for Daniel Jones is Tommy DeVito.
Tommy DeVito.
And his agent is all over the news right now trying to make deals because he just wants to get like a pizza deal or a restaurant deal or
Wait.
commercials or whatever locally in New York real quick because he's a starting quarterback for now. He did come in a few was it last year I think it was.
Yeah, and were they showing off the agent then too?
Yes.
Okay. Oh,
He's
I've
the guy.
seen
You know
this.
this guy, right?
Oh God, and DeVito's like the perfect name. I went to school with DeVito's.
Yeah, dude,
like,
me too.
you just go like, oh yeah, this has got to be somebody's cousin that we
Yes,
know.
exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
or second
Yeah,
cousin.
he's just one of those guys.
So I love this guy.
Yeah.
So when did he come in?
He's playing this week. He played last week. Daniel Jones is benched.
How did he do last week? All right, I'm going for him because I like him because he's like a little slice of he's not from Long Island, but to me he is.
I can't watch the Giant games, but I am rooting for him.
Yes, Giants.
But-
What did you say the spread was?
-6. Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay is giving the Giants 6.
Yes.
Of course, Tampa Bay should kick the crap out of them.
Mm-hmm. What do you got, buddy? What do you got?
Hey, I just came from 6. I might as well go for. We're teasing the Giants, baby.
Okay. He's all about Tommy DeVito.
Yes.
He's teasing the Giants
And they're
now.
getting 6.
They're getting 6.
I mean, now they're getting 12.
Now they're getting 12.
Okay.
This is another game where I'm teasing opposite of you.
Okay.
I'm picking the Bucks to win, which means the Bucks just have to win the game. So I'm taking it down. I think the Bucks, they were off last week. I think they got 2 weeks to gather up steam for Tommy DeVito.
And they're good, right? I mean, the Bucks are pretty good.
The Bucks are pretty good.
Yeah,
the
so
Bucks are pretty good, well-rounded. So we'll see what happens.
The Giants shouldn't
They're
win.
favored
but-
by 6 in New York. That's rare to be
Yeah.
favored by 6 on the road. I'm just making them hopefully win the game. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll never know.
That's how it works with the Giants, though. You really never know.
Never know.
They're another team. They beat teams they're not supposed to beat, and they
Mhm.
lose to the teams that are shit and they're supposed to beat. Next game, the Lions on the road against the Colts, who brought back their quarterback who got benched because he tapped out. They brought him back,
Yeah.
and he beat the Jets in New York. And now they're home.
Wait,
And
he beat
Richardson
the
is playing.
Jets?
He beat the
What a
Jets.
big
Whoa.
deal.
Yeah. But he's playing the Lions this week. The Lions are favored on the road by 7.5 against the Colts. I'm so surprised that it's only 7.5, but I'll let you pick.
Maybe I'll go for 8 teases this week.
I don't think you're at 5 yet.
All right, so I'm going to tease this, and I'm giving Detroit. I'm taking Detroit, so they'll be. It's what did you say it was?
Detroit is -7.5,
Yeah,
so it
so
would be
1.5.
-1.5.
Yeah.
I am doing the same exact tease. I think this is my 5th tease. I picked a 4-game tease last week and got it, so I always go in progression one more. If I keep going, if I get 5 this week, then I'll get 6. So I'll go 5 or 6 this week. So right now, I am taking the Lions -1.5. Please go Lions, please.
Lions.
This is also a game that is very interesting to me. The Broncos, who are hot, -5.5. Now, they almost beat the Chiefs, blocked field goal, but then they beat the shit out of the Falcons.
Yes.
They're on the road in another division game against the Raiders, who suck.
Oh, they do suck. And this is one of those games where you're going to go, I can't believe the Raiders won.
I know, that's
but
the thing.
I'm going Broncos
it's in
all day.
Vegas.
Right.
It's in Vegas. This is a division rival. It's in Vegas. But there is no semblance of order on the Raiders team in any fashion. This is the last tease. I'm taking the Broncos. I'm teasing it.
Me too.
Okay,
I'm
so we're
doing
both
this-
in it.
We're
So,
both
yeah.
in it. Same
These games are
tease.
crazy spreads this week for some reason.
Mhm.
And I want to calm down and just do like a 3-game tease. But it seems like you can make some money this week because
Well-
it goes exponentially higher.
Why aren't we? Okay.
We are. We're gonna see if we can combine it,
Okay.
and maybe I'll drop one and we'll do it together. But we'll see. We'll look at it when we put it in. Next game, Cardinals, Seahawks in Seattle. Cardinals in Phoenix, usually a much warmer weather. In Seattle right now, much cooler. Seattle fans are crazy. Division game. Cardinals had a bye.
What I want is Seattle, but I'm picking Arizona. And man, I need to. I had 6 last week. I need to try to have a 7. I'm gonna go for a 7, potentially 7
No.
game team.
Don't do it. Just be happy with a streak. Go for 5 or 4. I know I'm stupid,
I
but I'm just doing
have
it.
5 already, don't I? Right now, didn't I pick?
I think you're your 5th one. Yeah, you can go 6.
Because I mean, to me,
we have 2 together.
To me,
2 the
I don't
same.
know why Arizona is only giving 1. This is why for
Seattle
me
has
it
a
seems,
huge home field advantage, and Seattle. Oh, DK Metcalf
Why
is
is it
back, by the way.
huge
Huh?
home field advantage?
It's loud. It's a raucous place. It's just one of those places that it's just hard to play in.
All right. I won't tease it because I've been influenced by you.
No. We don't do that. No. I'm not gonna
All
be
right.
playing for this.
I'm teasing it.
Pick a game.
I'm
Pick-
taking Arizona and I'm teasing it. And Arizona's going. Yeah, so it's going to be
Arizona's getting
4.5 or 4. Yeah, 'cause
Arizona's
you
getting 4.
It's
Okay.
not a half. It's
Okay.
1. Okay.
I'm picking the Seahawks the way it is.
All right.
Just the way it is. No tease. Next game. Big game for both teams. The Packers coming off a win and a last-second field goal blocked against the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
They're at home against the 49ers, who lost. This is it. They're in a crappy division. They got to win out and hope for a lot of other losses. This is usually a playoff game. The Niners and the Packers. I got to go with the Packers in Green Bay.
I would do the same. You didn't say the
It's
spread.
minus
did you?
2.5.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I would do the same.
I'm just hoping that the Packers at the end, you see the score by a field goal. Sunday night game. We're up to Sunday night. Eagles on the road against the Rams. The Eagles minus 2.5 against Matthew Stafford
Matthew Stafford.
and the Rams.
Okay.
The Rams just won against the New England Patriots in New England by 6, and they're going back home to play the Eagles, who won on Thursday night, and they have 10 days worth of rest.
You know, when you say it like that, I kind of have to go Eagles because I think if the Eagles played New England, I think that they'd beat them by 30. And so who they played last week, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go Eagles.
It is home and away, though. It is a different. But yeah.
It is true, but I don't know. I'm going to go Eagles. Makes sense to me. Feels right.
I think this is a big game for the Eagles. I'm going with the Eagles minus 2.5 on the road. I wouldn't be surprised if Stafford he does this once every 4 games. This is another one of those guys that plays well against good competition, but I like the coach of the Rams, but I think the Eagles, they're a better team.
I almost want to switch this tease from my last tease and make this a tease, but
There's only one game left. That's a Sunday night game. There's a Monday night game, and that's it.
shit. All right. Well, yeah, no, because the Eagles, I mean, yeah, I'm taking the Eagles. Sticking with them.
I'm taking the Eagles as well. And the last game of the week is a very big game for this team who lost to the Steelers. Monday night, the Baltimore Ravens are on the road at the Chargers. And that's the game where you watch the guy, Justin Herbert, for the first time. You said he was
great.
And the Ravens are minus 3.
As they should be.
And the Ravens lost last week.
I think that it's Charger time for me. I'm going to go with the Chargers on this, and I'm not going to tease it, even though I want to. I want to tease every game because, of course, it makes it easier.
I think the Ravens don't have a defense. I just keep watching it. They played well against Pittsburgh defensively, which was a shock to everybody. But they still gave the game away. You realize the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Ravens without a touchdown.
What? Really?
Yeah.
No. Didn't know that.
The guy was 6 for 6 in field goals. That's
Damn.
crazy.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Chargers because I think that they can actually light it up. They won a big game against a division rival, the Bengals. I'm talking about a division rival to the Ravens, and they play very similarly. Offensive is powerful. Defenses aren't that great. I think the Chargers are going to pull this one out. I think they can learn from the mistakes. Harbaugh, I think, is...
Man,
And by the way, this is the brothers playing each other. So this is brother versus brother coach.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
So I'm picking the Chargers.
Yeah, and I'd rather the Chargers win anyway.
Yep. Okay. Long enough. We're done.